Hello there guys, hope you're doing really well out there. Good to see you all again, back with another video today. I'm going to talk about a subject that might trigger a lot of people. Certainly I have to say might trigger a lot of the females out there, and I'll explain why that is in a little while. But I'm going to talk about the moon and how the moon is essentially evil. There's no other way to word it really. Basically the moon is being used and has been used against us for probably thousands of years. The moon is artificial. It's an artificial satellite, and basically what is happening is this matrix program is being projected from Saturn, and what happens is it hits the moon and the moon acts as an amplifier, and what that does is it intensifies this matrix program onto the planet, making it harder for us to raise our consciousness. It's easier for them to control our minds with all the mind control stuff, our belief systems, everything like that. So it's very much a problem and very much not a good thing. And this can be a hard pill for people to swallow. Obviously, a lot of the people that are gravitating over from the New Age, when you talk about these kind of subjects, you know, archangels being not of the light, and then subjects like this, it can be really triggering. But there is no such thing as negative knowledge or negative information that empowers, that is aligned with truth anyway. Of course there can be false and misinformation, but the moon is really a big one that we have to get our heads around and realize what role it is playing in our enslavement and how it affects us, not just physically but emotionally, and I'll go into that in a second, spiritually as well. So it is nothing more than an amplifier, and basically there's a book that's called Who Built the Moon. It's a very interesting read, and they talk about in that book that how or where the moon is positioned is like the odds are incredible of it actually being positioned where it is positioned. You're talking like billions to one, the way it sort of covers the sun. And so when you look at it from that point of view, it screams as some kind of artificial satellite that has been placed there intentionally. The main thing is coming to the realization that the moon is not positive. It doesn't emit positive energy. And what is happening is that so many people, again, particularly within the New Age circles, and particularly women, this is where this part comes in, are moon worshipping. They're having rituals, especially around the eclipses, blood moons, red moons, and it is a big problem, because when that happens, what we do is we open ourselves up to the negative energy of the moon, and we allow more entities to come in. We almost invite them in with these rituals and these blood moons and eclipse ceremonies. And we just had one recently, which, you know, essentially was a big open portal for more entities to come into this reality. So the energy of these full moons, these eclipses, are very much malevolent for us. Now the problem is that, especially when you talk about the women, they have like an emotional pull to the moon. I've seen it here firsthand, very interesting to observe. I was at this place where people sort of go for like sunset, and I stayed there for a while longer, and then the moon came out and it was a full moon, and I noticed that there was a lot of photos being taken, but it was all the females. The females were almost drawn to the moon, the full moon, and they were taking like selfies and pictures and all that kind of stuff. And there is an emotional pull with females and the moon, and I'll explain what that is, because basically the Earth is feminine. She's a true divine feminine. And what has happened is the moon influences her emotional body, which is the waters, the oceans. And so what that does is obviously it creates waves, it creates turmoil within the emotional body of the earth. And so what happens is that same thing is happening with females. Their emotional bodies are being pulled on via the moon's energy, which is why their period cycles and their periods are so intense and so very difficult for them sometimes, because they're having this energy pulling on their emotions constantly. But instead of feeling into it and seeing it what it is, there's kind of been, like, through New Age indoctrination as well, that kind of connection with the moon, whereby the moon, especially for females, as I say, is seen as, you know, almost like a mother figure, and something that the females are connected into, because they're being told that the moon's the feminine, when in actual fact, as I say, the earth herself is the divine feminine. So there is a distortion in that. And so it's very problematic for the females on this planet, and obviously for the earth herself. And you can see it in the wording, the word lunar and lunatic, lunacy. Okay, so again, it's all in the etymology of the word, it's all in the language. You don't have to look very far to find the deception. But of course, it's very triggering. It's very triggering for you know, New Agers or the females. I mean, I've had conversations with females about the moon, and you know, a lot of the time they don't like it, which I get. You know, there's that connection, but it's almost like a false connection. It's a connection to the false white light. In the same way people are connected and they have this affinity with false white light beings in terms of archangels and friendly aliens and things like that. The same thing is kind of playing out with the moon and the moon's energy. There's this almost like false white light connection that is going on. And then, of course, as I said before, you know, all these rituals that are going on around the full moon, and different types of moon worship. You know, we're told to clean our crystals in moonlight, which essentially would just fill the crystals with bad energies and entities and that kind of thing. So it's a very big big one to sort of get our heads around. But it's very important when we're looking to understand what is going on with this whole matrix. We have to really question everything that we are being told. And of course, you know, from my point of view, we never went to the moon. that was always a big deception. But yeah, guys, that's my theory on the moon. I feel like we need to stop giving it our power. We need to stop giving it our energy. We need to stop looking at it as some kind of benevolent aspect of our history, of our lives. We need to see it for what it is, in the fact that it is really enhancing this matrix program, amplifying it, making it stronger, and it's messing with the emotional bodies of our very planet and the very females here. So I'm encouraging people to not give any energy to the moon. Do not take part in any moon rituals, anything like that. Do not clean your crystals in the moon. We need to stop feeding that energy, which is being used against us. I also believe that it has something to do with the soul recycling trap and the false white light. It could well be that when people die, they're seeing the moon's light, because it is almost like a circular tunnel if you look at it from that aspect. That it's also maybe playing a role in that as well. We know that a lot of the manipulations out there, they all have multiple different roles that they play. So yeah, let me know, guys, what you think in the comments below. Please, you know, when you're listening to this information, take a balanced view. I'm not telling you what to believe, but it's become more and more apparent down the years. And as I say, I really recommend reading that book, Who Built the Moon. Some fantastic information just with the logistics of how would it even get to that position. Is very, very interesting. And for me, yeah, it's more false light that we need to stop giving our energy to. It's more new age BS, more new age trappings that people are just feeding into, giving their energy and power away, and really feeding the very thing that is making our whole experience here a whole lot worse. So guys, if you like this video, please thumbs up or thumbs down. If you don't, comment below. If you're new here, like I say, please consider subscribing, bell notification, all that jazz. And yeah, I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.